Everybody, what's happening? I hope you're all well. First of all, I'd like to say all praise be to God and those who have passed away in the car accident may rest in peace, and those who have been affected by this, sorry to you. And I'd like everybody to watch this video with an open mind. Keep your mind open, and please listen before you start commenting or before you start to say something different. Yeah, let's have a discussion about this. Very important. So that's the first thing. That's a disclaimer. So the topics we're going to be talking about is the first one is Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua boxing fight, the things around that, and then the part two of the video will be the Anthony Joshua car accident in Nigeria. So let's get straight into it, and let's try to keep this video at the shortest time possible. Uh, so I'd like to say that first of all, when I heard about Anthony Joshua taking this fight with Jake Paul, I was like, come on, Joshua, you could do better than that. Why are you fighting this YouTuber? Yeah. So a lot of people around me and all saying Anthony Joshua's trying to took it. But obviously, when you find out the money he's getting and he's coming towards the end of his career as well, he's only got like maybe one fight in there, which I believe a fight who should have been taken is the one with Tyson Fury in Wembley. That would have been a good for the boxing fans of England, British boxing fans, and also the fans abroad. I have two British fighters, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, would have been the ideal fight to say. Honestly, I swear to God, that fight should have happened. And these both are two men of God as well, yeah. But you see, this Jake Paul guy, yeah, he's not a man of God. He's a man of Satan. So when he started getting involved with this guy, and then I didn't like that, that he's actually with took this fight on. So just remember, guys, with this numerology, some videos are coming out with it very good. They're saying that this was Anthony Joshua's 33rd fight, and in Freemasonry, that's 33 degrees. In Scottish Rite, Freemason, that's the highest degree you can get in Freemasonry, and it's called the Grand Inspector General, the 33rd degree. That is one point to remember. Do not forget that. Is Anthony Joshua's 33rd fight. So straight away, that's for those who can spot our numbers. That is a 1 point to tick off. Yeah, so something. So that's stage set right there. So then on top of that, with the Jake Paul, yeah. If you look at Jake Paul's bloodlines, his mother's a Jewish, and obviously with the Jewish and Zionist, they people can say conspiracies or whatever, but we know that they're obviously involved with the bloodlines are very sacred from the mother side, and he's got that's how he's able to set these stages, big theater stages because they run the boxing, they run like Bob Arum and all these other guys, and the list goes on. If you look at the old boxing days back in when it first started, all these promoters like Ben Sholem and Bob Adams and all these, they all run the boxing, these promoters and the bigger names behind that, even UFC as well, and all these big sports. You see this one like 1 or 2% of the world population. These sports who run it, they're all run by the same families and bloodlines and stuff. So for them to select their little precious Jake Paul to lead the way and pave the way for that, for YouTube influence and internet influence and now Netflix influence, you can see that they really want to protect this asset they have. But what happened was during the fight, I believe the script that the first few rounds it was following, Joshua followed the first round, couple of rounds, he followed the script. But then during the fight, Anthony Joshua broke the script, and there's a scene particularly when Jake Paul pulls the tongue out that he did that with Mike Tyson. And when Mike Tyson was coming hard, pressing forward, Jake Paul pulls the tongue out, and then you see Tyson come back, and then Jake Paul starts throwing again. So he did the same thing with Joshua. He pulls the tongue out. So to the public, to us guys, when we watch it, we just think he's just making mockery or something like a kind of like a lizard type of tongue, But due to the people in boxing or to Joshua particularly, they tell the boxers pre-hand that when I pull the tongue out, it's my turn to start landing on you now. So when he did that, Joshua, he didn't follow what Jake Paul did. Like he pulled his tongue back at him, and then he started throwing more at him. and then he smiled at him, and then he broke his jaw in the sixth round, and that made big news of its own, and everybody around they were shocked, and that was I believe that could be end of Jake Paul's career. So by that, I believe and then Joshua wanted to give the fans, and he also wanted to tell the world that this is all theater. That I'm taking my money. You cut. You could maybe take a bit of my purse off me if you want, but he goes, I want to show the world that I'm not like selling my soul. Basically, that's what he's trying to say. I'm not selling my soul to this YouTube clan. But remember, Mike Tyson was willing to do that, and nothing happened to Tyson. But Jake Paul, he did that, right? So he upset them. So once he upset them, I believe he got a call from the guys who own Netflix. We're not talking about Netflix themselves. The ones who own Netflix, the mafias behind, the hidden hand, which controls the networks and controls your television and your newspapers and everything. And they control that. They go, listen, Anthony Joshua, yeah, after, that you're going to have to make you upset a lot of people, yeah? And don't think your money or your purse can pay this off. That you're going to have to do a blood sacrifice. Make a selection, choose. Is either going to be your mother or your father or someone close to you, right? And then the Joshua, he had to be, and he couldn't believe it. Obviously, he messed with the wrong people. So by that decision, he chose not choosing his parents. He chose his best friends. So then they had to make the arrangement. So this is what I believe happened. So Anthony Joshua, he went to Nigeria, right? And he knew exactly the time and place, and his friends never knew. And his friend in the front, and his friend in the back, and he sat exactly where he had to sit in the car. And he goes, and then everything was all scripted for him to do that. And then the car accident took place. And then you see the photos, the videos emerge that not a scratch on Joshua, not a single scratch on him, right? But his other two friends are dead. So by him upsetting the higher ups, and by him signing the oath, remember in boxing you signed you signed the contract, and by signing him to lose, that he had to lose that fight, but instead he won it. A bit like Pulp Fiction. If you watch Pulp Fiction, when Bruce Willis, he had to lose a fight and he jumps out the window and he makes a runner. Same thing like this, where where Marcellus is looking for Bruce Willis in Pulp Fiction, if you guys remember that, yeah. And then I think John Travolta and Samuel Jackson are looking for Bruce Willis because his job was to lose the fight and he won the fight and he's on the run. Same thing with this. So there was no escape for him, and he had to make a choice. So if he never took out his two friends, it would be his mother or father. And so the blood sacrifice, after 10 days, it happened in Nigeria. And Nigeria is, obviously, cameras and stuff, no cameras there on every single road. The photos, the videos we see is after he's coming at the car, he's made a face like this on pain and stuff. So that stage was set there for him. And if you guys know about the Bourne Identity, you guys, look at these type of films like these Secret Service ones, and they can set all these things up, guys, man. They do all these false flags all the time. They do them, especially Mossad as well. And you look at all these other things, like they can make two buildings disappear, guys, and they can tell you, they make three buildings disappear and they go two planes hit it, right? They say stuff like that, like, how can these two buildings come down? They can make a plane go missing, right? And they can do all types of, they can, like, now you look at the Bondi Beach in Australia, the links are coming out here, that was Mossad behind that. So, once again, guys, in the world of boxing as well, they do it there as well. Because you remember, it was a big theatre event. It was like a gladiator, a coliseum, big theatre. And a lot of eyes are on there. And then behind the shadows, that's taking place. But then if you do, you sell your soul, and in return, you do not make those guys who pay you, and you don't follow, and you take the law in your own hands, there's a price to pay. So in short, I believe that Anthony Joshua had foreknowledge, and I believe that he had the phone call came to him, and he had to take out his two best mates. and that blood sacrifice he had to take place. He had no other choice. If he didn't do it, they'll take his parents out or someone very close to him. They'll just say his father's dead. He passed away before the new year, or his mother. And what can he do? And he's still got the money in his bank. He's got the money, but he's took his two friends, and that's it. That's the end of Joshua's boxing career, I think. And I don't think there's going to be another thing after that. If there is, that's crazy. But this big level and this news and stuff, this would be the end. And they've done this. And I think at the same time, guys, I don't want to go off here topic a bit. But I believe that, if you look at Jake Paul's bloodlines, he's a Jewish Zionist. I like to put that out there. He's a Jewish Zionist. And Anthony Joshua, he's very close to Muslims and Islam. And his two friends were Muslim as well. And so obviously, someone who's close to Islam, like Anthony Joshua, to beat up someone who's close to Judaism, that people, they don't like to see that. So they like to see that Muslims don't go too high up, like to keep them down. So it's like that. They like to show the Jews are at the top, and that's pretty much how they want these actors and actresses that do not speak about us and don't mess with us. That if you do try to mess with us, then we will show you who you're messing with. And so basically, you break my jaw, I'll take two of your friends out, just like that. So that was a message, not just to Anthony Joshua, I believe. That's a message to all of those boxers, all of those athletes, actors, actresses. They have these higher ups, these celebrities who have got millions in the banks. They all know these code messages, like how P Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein's and all these. They all have their own codes and they protect each other. They don't let these words come out to the public knowledge. If they do, then their career will be at the fall, and maybe someone of their family members might die, or they might take out. They'll do a witch hunt on them. They'll cancel them. They'll do all that stuff. So, in that type of industry, you have to keep quiet and stuff, and and you have to follow by the theater, by the act. So, guys, that's all I'm gonna say out there. So, my question would be: do you think Anthony Joshua is innocent? I don't think Anthony Joshua is innocent. I think Anthony Joshua had foreknowledge. My final statement is Anthony Joshua had foreknowledge that he wanted that Anthony Joshua did not follow by the rules in the Jake Paul fight on Netflix, one of the biggest shows of 2025. By him breaking the contract, he then had a phone call, and then he had to make a decision of choosing people close to him to sacrifice, and that was his two best mates. He had to blood sacrifice, and Josh is still alive at the end, and he still got money in the bank. He will magically go off scene, and you won't hear from him that much again. And that's how this industry is, and blood sacrifices are very common in that type of world. And if they want something off you, or if you don't listen to them, they will take one of your friends out, families out, anybody. And sometimes they can do it without your knowledge, or they can do it prior knowledge. I think Anthony Joshua had prior knowledge because obviously he came back out alive. Guys, all the best. Thank you.